Nearly 2 million years ago, on the vast African savanna, survival was a relentless struggle. Among predators and prey, a new hunter emerged, Homo erectus, stronger, smarter, and destined to change the balance of power. Unlike the solitary beasts they competed with, these early humans hunted together. Strategy, endurance, and courage became their weapons. Their target, a wounded antelope, too fast for one, but not for many. With guttural cries, they spread out, encircling their prey. For the first time, collective intelligence turned the tide, the difference between hunger and survival. This was more than meat for the fire. It was proof that united, they could master the savanna. But on the African savanna, triumph was never guaranteed. The scent of blood drifted on the wind, and it summoned rivals. Out of the dust came shadows, hyenas, fierce and relentless, ready to steal the prize. In that moment, survival demanded more than strength. It demanded unity. Spears lifted high, voices thundered across the plain, and for the first time, these hunters faced not just the chase, but the battle for possession. The clash was primal. Fang against fire-hardened wood, instinct against strategy. And then, a turning point. The scavengers faltered, retreating into the haze. The kill remained theirs. This was more than a meal. It was a declaration. On that day, the savanna saw a new kind of power, not in fangs or claws, but in unity. With their prize secured, the hunters began the long march home. Each step carried not only the weight of flesh and bone, but the promise of survival for the tribe. But the savanna offered no safe passage. Danger lurked in every shadow, every whisper of grass. For these early humans, even victory was fragile. Then, the sound that froze their march, a low growl carried by the wind. Not scavengers this time, but predators. The hunt had given them strength, but now they would need every spark of courage to keep what was theirs. In the heart of the savanna, predator met predator. The lions lunged, muscles rippling, jaws wide with lethal force. And for the first time, early humans did not run. They stood and fought. It was a battle of instinct against innovation. Fangs and claws clashed with fire-hardened wood and human resolve. Every strike, every cry, was a defiance of the natural order. But the lions were relentless. The savanna demanded sacrifice, blood-stained. In that instant, survival hung by a thread. Would they lose their prize or their own? In the blink of an eye, the strike landed. The spear met muscle and roar, and the savanna thundered with chaos. For the first time, lions faltered before human hands. Fury turned to frenzy. The hunters drove forward together, a wall of defiance. Spears jabbed, torches waved, and the predators, built to dominate, now faced something new: resistance. Step by step, the balance shifted. The kings of the savanna retreated under the cries of those once considered prey. A new chapter of survival was being written in blood and fire. But the savanna never surrendered easily. As the last lion vanished into the haze, the sky itself began to change. As the lions vanished, a greater force rose on the horizon. The sky darkened, the wind howled, and lightning tore across the heavens. For Homo erectus, the battle was not over. It had only changed. The storm struck with fury. Rain hammered the savanna, turning dust to mud, drenching fire and flesh alike. What had been a victory now threatened to slip away. But within the chaos, instinct became innovation. They shielded the flames, wrapping embers in leaves and bark, desperate to preserve the spark that meant warmth and survival. Every step was a struggle. The prey weighed heavy, the storm unrelenting. And as thunder rolled, one question lingered. Would they make it back before the fire? And their hope was lost? Through wind and rain, the hunters pressed on. Exhaustion weighed on every step, but ahead, salvation. A dark opening in the stone, a cave, a refuge against the wrath of the storm. They staggered inside, drenched and trembling. But the danger was not gone. Their prize was safe. Yet the fragile ember of fire, the true treasure, flickered on the edge of death. In the shadows, time slowed. Breath after breath, smoke swirled, the ember glowing faintly. One mistake, and the light of survival would vanish into darkness. And then, a spark. A flicker of orange against the stone. But would it rise into flame? Or die with the storm still raging outside? In the darkness of the cave, the ember came alive. Smoke curled upward. Then, with a sudden roar, flame burst into light. For the first time, humankind held the power of fire. The storm raged outside, but within the cave there was warmth, safety, and something greater, unity. Around the fire, fear gave way to wonder. Survival had become culture. That night marked more than victory. It was a threshold. Fire brought heat, protection, nourishment, and hope. With it, humanity stepped out of the shadows of instinct and into the light of destiny. And so, in the glow of that first fire, humanity was reborn. From fear to mastery, from prey to predator, from darkness to light. This was the spark that shaped our destiny. If this journey through our earliest beginnings moved you, don't let the flame die here. Subscribe to the channel, leave your thoughts in the comments, and share where in the world you're watching from. Because together, we keep the fire of history alive.